in Douala, Cameroon's economic capital city. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining Quinoxe Television on our midday edition of the bilingual newscast. Go first in the French language with Lafleur Signé. Lafleur Signé, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Fomi Armstrong, Madame, Monsieur, bon après-midi. Merci de nous retrouver pour cette nouvelle édition du journal. Saisi dans le Mongo d'une importante cargaison de riz issue de contrefaçon, l'opération a été menée par les éléments de la Légion de gendarmerie du littoral. Plus de 1000 sacs de riz étaient disposés dans un entrepôt de fortune. La céréale était mélangée à un autre produit avant d'être écoulée sur le marché. Écoutons le reportage de Claudia Essia et Innocent Abega.
L'entrepôt servait à mélanger du riz détourné, acheté ou volé sur les marchés de Douala avec des aliments pour animaux. Une cargaison récente de 700 sacs de riz détournés venait d'être livrée.
Dans le cadre de nos missions classiques, le groupement de gendarmerie territoriale de Douala a reçu un renseignement précis sur le détournement d'une cargaison de riz qui avait été initialement acheté sur un marché de la ville de Douala. Le commandant de groupement a mis en place une équipe avec des consignes précises de filature qui ont permis de prendre en chasse la cargaison qui avait été localisée et de la suivre discrètement jusqu'à ce magasin.
Le riz détourné était ensuite mélangé avec des aliments pour animaux, réensachés dans des emballages neufs, puis revendus sur le marché.
Le reconditionnement d'un produit totalement avarié, totalement impropre à la consommation humaine. On n'a même pas besoin de le passer au laboratoire. Rien que les odeurs qui s'y dégagent, rien que l'aspect même du magasin dans lequel on se trouve, rien que les techniques même de reconditionnement de ce produit font que pour un être humain normal, on ne devrait pas vraiment le mettre à la disposition du public.
Pour le colonel Bikele, commandant de la Légion de gendarmerie du littoral, cette opération est un avertissement à ceux qui envisagent de se livrer à de telles pratiques à l'avenir.
Il s'agit d'une atteinte grave à la vie, on ne peut pas dire moins. Vous voyez combien de personnes sont en danger. Ce magasin existe depuis plusieurs années. Combien de personnes sont déjà mortes par l'action de ces criminels? Je pense qu'il s'agit là d'une situation d'une gravité extrême et qui doit être traitée comme telle.
L'entrepôt a été fermé et les propriétaires ont été interpellés. Ils répondront de leurs actes devant les juridictions compétentes dans les jours à venir.
À Kribi, dans le sud du Cameroun, un cambrioleur a été attrapé la main dans le sac dans un domicile privé. Interpellé par l'équipe spéciale d'intervention rapide, il est actuellement entre les mains des autorités pour exploitation. Le récit de Joseph Abena.
C'est en plein jour que cette résidence, en l'absence de son propriétaire, reçoit la visite des cambrioleurs. Aidés par cet échafaudage, ils sont entrés par cette ouverture pour mettre la maison à sac.
Il y avait les bandits dans la maison, un a fui, ils ont récupéré un avec les objets. Il n'était pas entré dans le camp. C'est alors que j'ai appelé le gardien parce qu'il y a un vigile dans le camp, mais qui fait autre chose en journée, vient seulement dormir dans le camp le soir venu. Bon, je l'ai appelé, il m'a retrouvé ici. Nous sommes venus ici au camp, on a ouvert la porte avant de constater les dégâts qu'on a vus tout à l'heure.
Un citoyen ayant vu la scène de loin a aussitôt alerté les sires, l'équipe spéciale d'intervention rapide qui est arrivée à l'instant et cueilli le premier suspect avec une partie de la cargaison, son acolyte ayant fondu dans la nature.
Ce n'est pas le biais d'un élément de lessive. Et j'étais à la maison parce que je ne vis pas ici. Je suis le responsable du camp. Mon téléphone a sonné autour de 17h30. C'était un élément de lessive. Il m'a demandé, c'est bien vous Raymond? J'ai dit oui. Il m'a dit que trouve-nous à Lessie. J'ai sauté sur une moto, arrivé à Lessie. Il me dit que la maison que vous gérez a été cambriolée. Et voilà votre voleur. et j'ai reconnu les objets sortant d'ici.
Des actes de bravoure des éléments du commissaire Villon Ondoa Landry, salués par le préfet de l'Océan.
Pour féliciter nos populations qui de plus en plus collaborent avec les forces de maintien de l'ordre en leur fournissant toutes les informations utiles permettant de mettre hors d'état de nuire tous les bandits, les cambrioleurs.
Right to the Secretary of State of Gendarmerie, and we expect urgent, severe sanctions against the perpetrators of such barbaric acts. If they don't, the Bar Council will reconvene and we will take the appropriate measures.
The Bar President has urged law enforcement officers to respect the fundamental rights of all persons.
Mba Eric Mba Esquire further promised that justice will be seen to be done in the case of Barrister Tamfo Richard, who was molested by security officials in Douala. And now on to something else. For a long while, young people in Cameroon have been complaining that they are sidelined from the peace process, as they are often than not considered as perpetrators of insecurity and unworthy acts across the country. However, they are now breaking new grounds in contributing to security efforts in the country, but also in the peace process. It was the purpose of a youth colloquium that took place in the nation's political capital city, Yaoundé. Babila Jonathan once again.
As insecurity and violence take an upward trend in Cameroon, youths, women and girls are among the most affected. Paradoxically, young people in Cameroon still face exclusion and lack of support in their efforts to contribute to peace in the country. Government, traditional, religious and community leaders continue seeing them as perpetrators of violence and victims rather than solution providers and key partners for peace. Local Youth Corner is now striving to turn the tide via the Cameroon Youth, Peace and Security Colloquium. They converge on the International Relations Institute in Yaoundé to discuss their contribution to peace and security in the country.
It was a moment for all of us to bring our various contributions to be able to shape a national action plan for the youth, peace and security that will reflect the challenges that young people are facing, first of all, in the various regions, northwest, southwest, far north regions, but also in other regions of Cameroon that are receiving IDPs and refugees, but also to bring our solutions as a young Cameroonian to be able to shape an action plan that will reflect the desires and the needs of young Cameroonians.
It is a gathering of potentials being harnessed by experts to serve the purpose of peace building within the nation and beyond.
The objective is to reinforce the national priorities to ensure that the state of Cameroon should be able to comply with the United Nations Security Council resolution for peace.
Will show to the world and to the Africans themselves and to the Cameroonians what the youth of Africa and of Cameroon want for their future, and how to reach peace and security within Cameroon with their help and with a contribution.
The United Nations Security Council Resolution 2250 and other related resolutions assert that the most sustainable way to build peace is to recognize and invest in young people as equal partners in peace processes.
And today, November 30th, 2024, marks exactly 35 years since Cameroon's first president, Ahmadou Ahidjo, died. And 35 years after his demise, the question of the repatriation of his mortal remains from Senegal in West Africa to Cameroon in Central Africa remains a hot potato each time the anniversary of the president arrives. Cameroonians are divided on the opinion on the necessity to repatriate the remains of Cameroon's first president. Innocent as it takes us to this very debate as Cameroonians commemorate 35 years today.
November 30, 1989 marks exactly 35 years since Cameroon's first president, Ahmadou Ahidjo Paul Biya, when he resigned from power in 1982. Ahidjo was sentenced to death in absentia in 1984, but he died of natural causes in 1989 while on exile in Dakar, Senegal, where his remains were buried. Since then till present, many citizens, especially northern Cameroonians, clamored for the return of his remains to be facilitated by President Paul Biya. All of the pressure did not in any way tickle the Biya regime until October 30, 2007, on France 24 TV, that President Paul Biya declared the matter of returning Ahidjo's remains from Senegal to Cameroon was a family affair. that the decision depends only on them, with no objection nor observation to be made by him. On the part of Ahidjo's family, the blame goes to President Paul Biya if his predecessor's corpse remains in Senegal. According to the late president's son, Muhammadu Bajuka Ahidjo, it is the government that needs to take the initiative to repatriate the remains of the former president, while they, as a family, are available to collaborate in the effort. A view supported by Ahidjo's wife, also of blessed memory. She was also buried next to her husband in Dakar, Senegal, as well as their first daughter. Debates keep popping up on why the remains of the first president are not brought back to his country of origin for a state burial each time his death anniversary is around. All the Biya regime does is keep a sealed mouth on the subject, a major concern to Cameroonians, especially northern citizens, and the Ahmadou Ahidjo's family.
And out of Cameroon, at least 15 persons have died and dozens others are still being unaccounted for in Uganda following a landslide that local officials in the country say that it was provoked by a heavy downpour. And in Central Africa, precisely in the nation of Chad, Chad has ended its military cooperations with the former colonial master France, a decision from the Chadian government, which observers say that could see French troops leaving the Central African nation. The roundup is with Our Lady Essie Liengulusi.
15 people have died and at least 100 are still missing after a landslide caused by heavy rains buried homes in several villages in eastern Uganda. The landslide occurred on Wednesday in Bulambuli district, about 300 kilometers east Kampala, burying at least 40 houses completely and partially damaging others. Authorities stated that over 100 individuals are unaccounted for across 8 villages, with police reporting 113 missing. Rescue efforts are hampered by impassable roads, preventing vehicles, including ambulances, from reaching the affected areas. Since October, Uganda has faced an unusual heavy rainfall, leading to flooding and landslides. On Tuesday, torrential rains caused the River Nile to overflow, flooding a highway that connects Kampala to the northwest. Elsewhere, Chad's government announced on Thursday the end of its defense cooperation agreement with France, a decision aimed at reaffirming its sovereignty and adjusting its international relations away from its former colonial power. The Foreign Ministry spokesperson Abderrahman Koulamala called this a historic turning point, occurring over 60 years after the country gained independence. The statement indicated Chad's intention to reshape its alliances based on national priorities, while also noting that this action will not weaken historical ties with France, as both nations are committed to maintaining cooperation in areas of shared interest. Chad's interim president, Mahamat Idriss Déby Itno, has been in power since 2021, following his father's death, and he has frequently voiced distrust towards French President Emmanuel Macron.
And that reports from Lucy Eseliengo brings us to the end of this edition of the Bilingual Newscast on Quinoxe Television. We thank you immensely for your keen attention, urging you to stay in the company of interesting programs on Quinoxe. Lafle Senior and I will be back here probably at 8 p.m. God willing. Lafle, have a nice day.
Have a nice day for me, From Standard. Madame, Monsieur, c'est la fin du journal. Merci de nous avoir suivis. Merci également à la grande équipe technique pour la réalisation. Nous vous souhaitons de passer un agréable week-end en compagnie de nos programmes.